So what brings you here today?
I'm really concerned about my internship possibilities. I don't know what I'm gonna do for like my summer and like if it's actually gonna work out the way I want it to. Um, it's really frustrating.
Okay. So what kind of like internships are you looking for?
I'm wanting to do some kind of like mentoring with young kids, like
Mhm.
adolescents. I would really love the internship at Big Brother Big Sister,
Mhm.
but I contacted the person who, like the director, and she's like through email. I'm like I've met her, but I've been trying to set up a time where I can go over to the building and like turn in my application, and then like she's kind of made it seem where there's no one else applying, but at the same time I don't know if there's anyone else applying.
Yeah.
And then she sent me an email like asking me if she could do like the official interview around spring break or after spring break.
Mhm.
But the problem with that is my internship like deadline is March 15th. So that's before the spring break thing. And so I had to have all my signatures and everything approved and set ready to go by March 15th. And I've emailed her this telling like, hey, is there any way we can do it beforehand because I have to have it before that date. And I told my my internship teacher that or that like she hasn't emailed me back or anything like that, and she said that she was gonna try and email her because she knew that it was a popular place to want an internship.
Yeah.
And so like she said she was gonna try and email on her behalf because I told her that it seemed like I was the only one applying. But at the same time, like I've interviewed or I have other places in mind, but I really don't think that they're fitting me as best, and I don't know if I want to use them for my school like counted internship because I have so many hours I have to do.
Yeah.
So, because like I have to do 360 hours, and in the summer, and like I could split that up in between 2 semesters, which is what I was planning on doing, so that I could have like the 200 and like get as many hours as I possibly could in the summer,
Mhm.
but then catch it up in the fall semester. And it's really hard because she won't get back to me, and that's what I'm planning on.
Yeah.
So I really don't know what to do.
Okay. So what are some other options do you think you could have with finding an internship?
There, I've talked to the people at Payne County Youth Services,
Mhm.
and it's the Payne County Youth Shelter,
Yeah.
and that one could be a really good one. And like I talked to both the person I would fill out the application for and the person I'd be working underneath, and they like are really excited for me to be there and said like I have it if like it's the first people who apply,
Mhm.
and so as long as nobody else has applied, I can get that position, and they can work around however many hours. So like I could honestly do that one, but when I went and talked to them, it kind of seemed like I was just babysitting because
Yeah.
the kids live there, and so like I get to work with the kids, but I don't know how much like program development I get to do or like actual um, programming, and it might just be my naivety, so it might be an actual really good internship, but
Yeah.
it's not my first choice, and so I'm kind of waiting to hear back from Stephanie, but I don't want to wait too long till it's like too late to get their signatures,
Yes.
and get my references and that kind of thing, but at the same time, I don't know if I want to have them count on me, because it's, like I said, it's just like babysitting.
Mhm.
There's another one in Red Rock County. They don't really, I mean, they've had interns before, but they don't really have the program development, and they're not really in session during the summer. So a lot of it I'd be planning and doing program development, but I wouldn't really get to do it directly for the kids,
Yeah.
which is not what I want to do. I don't want to be a program developer. And so it's not really fitting me, and it's out of town, and it's not paid, so it's a lot of gas money. So I'm really not leaning towards that one. But those are the possibilities that I have right now. And I mean, I have the possibility of doing like in the fall and the spring, and then even the summer after I graduate. But I would prefer to do it this summer,
Yeah.
and it's just really conflicting because I can't tell my work, hey, I'm not going to be able to work unless I know that I'm not going to be able to work.
Yeah.
And so it's really hard to just completely not know what's going on in my internship because she won't contact me back.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you wanted to work like directly with children or like
Mhm.
teenagers and stuff. So what kind of like are you wanting to do in the long run, as in like a career or as a job?
Okay. I'm wanting to work specifically with teenage girls, hopefully counseling them through, especially those who are like troubled, through either like if they've been like self-harming themselves or eating like behaviors that are not correct. I don't know what the word is, but then like, or like if they've had like anorexia or bulimia, or if they've been abused or like raped or anything like that, like I want to work with troubled teen girls and get them to kind of like life coaching, but mentoring them and working with them, counseling with them, and hopefully through like a Christian-based organization or my own type organization. So with Big Brother and Big Sister, like the reason why I want to do them is because they are in a whole program managing and organizing for mentorship. And so like it would be a great learning opportunity. And like I could intern with them and not have it count, but at the same time they're not paid. And so like for me, I have to kind of make sure I know that like what my goal oriented is. So I'm really confused right now of what to do for my future.
So you mentioned that you wanted to like do this for the summer and the fall and stuff. If this doesn't work out, what kind of like, you said summer plans will all be messed up, but what kind of like summer plans are you wanting?
Well, I mean, I guess they wouldn't be that messed up. It's just like I have a plan of like when I'm going to take certain classes and when certain things. So like this summer was my plan to do my internship so that I wouldn't have like, I would take off not as many hours at work because I work at TJ Maxx, and so like I would only work on the weekends for them and then be doing the internship hours so that I don't have to do it during my last year of school because I'm graduating in May of 2014, and they like I don't want to have to like, I want to make sure and get my internship hours, and I don't know with how many classes I have left in my hours of my weird major that does specific classes at specific times. It's really hard to work around that, so I think that'll just bring a lot more challenges if I have to do it in the fall and spring. It won't be like dire as an emergency. I mean, I can obviously do it the summer after all my classes, but that's when I was hoping to actually like find a job. And I know that like I could possibly get an internship somewhere different and actually have that turn into a job, so it might be a good thing that it turns out that way, but right now it's just not, it doesn't seem like what I planned, and so I don't like it when my plans go astray, because it's not because of my influence, but because someone else is not letting me do it the way I want it to.
How do you normally handle whenever like you make this big plan on when you're going to do what and when you're going to take this internship, all these classes? How do you normally handle when all these plans get all mixed up?
Usually I get stressed out. I usually don't have a good way of coping with it, because I like things to be once I've planned them through, because I generally think everything and all the possibilities through. I tend to merge well with it, but it takes a while, I kind of just let the change happen. I try to find like different situations and that kind of stuff, but I don't really, it's something I could definitely work on, because I usually have one set plan and then I have backups, but they have a lot of like holes in the plan and they don't really come together, so then like all the time that I spent planning my one plan when that falls through, it's really hard for me to be like, okay, how do I fix this?
So what are ways do you think that you could get to a point of that, on how you could plan out or like deal with it? Or cope with it in a way.
I mean, I guess like making, like not giving too much like specificness to my like original plan, so that it has room to like bounce around, so that I can fix it and that it's still in the way that I want it to go, and so that it seems like it's my first plan, but it really wasn't my first plan, if that makes sense. Also, like I guess with my other backup plans is not, I guess I just don't need to like lock myself into one way, because if I lock myself into one way, all my hopes and plans go to that way. So if I like keep an open mind, I think that would probably be better for my solutions, because then I could, oh well that didn't work well, let's try this way, and be more plastic or movable and fixable about it.
Okay, well maybe we can start working on that and
Okay.
then we could see how you are dealing from our next session.